Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. My fiancé 27 male and I 23 female are getting married next month and the wedding preparations are halfway done. We're planning for a moderate wedding. This is because my fiancé just got a new job and can't help with payments. My parents are our major sponsors and I pay for the smaller bills. Recently, I took my bridesmaids for dress shopping. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law joined us, since sister-in-law is one of my bridesmaids. We went to this lovely shop and it was amazing. Their dresses were beautiful and the prices were friendly. We decided on one, but my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law were not impressed. They loudly objected to our choice, bad-mouthing the place and their dresses. Sister-in-law complained that the dresses were prudish and she needed something more stylish and flattering, because she had to stand out as the sister of the groom. And my mother-in-law supported her. They got so difficult that my friends had to intervene and shut them down. Later on, I persuaded sister-in-law to try out the style we picked and it was her fit. She reluctantly accepted it and they all had their measurements taken so the dresses would be fitted accordingly. I paid 25% of the total price since that was the company's policy and we left. But 3 days ago, I got a refund from the shop. It was strange since I never requested one. So I called them to find out why they cancelled my orders and returned my money without notifying me. They said that I asked to cancel the dresses, and when I told them I never requested a refund, they said I came by their place and said I no longer needed them. Turns out my sister-in-law cancelled the entire order without my knowledge, and she did this by impersonating me. And the dress shop remembered her from the other day and thought she really was the bride. I was livid and confronted my sister-in-law and she admitted she cancelled because they found another dress that was more fashionable and suited a style. According to her, it was my mother-in-law's idea to cancel, so they did not have to get my permission. My sister-in-law was quite rude when she said this. So I told her that it was proper etiquette to tell me since it was my wedding and I was paying for the dress. I got upset when she insisted she was right and demanded she return the dress she picked because I would not permit it at my wedding. My mother-in-law immediately flared up and accused me of making the wedding about myself. She said I was unreasonable for demanding so and even made snide remarks about how they had to put me in my place since I was marrying into their family. It was unexpected. So I yelled at them to quit meddling with the plans I made for my wedding. I reported their actions to my fiancé, but he is strongly supporting them. He insists that his mom and sister have every right to dictate the wedding plans because it is his wedding too, and swapping the dresses behind my back was not tasteless, but they did it in our best interest. I reminded him that my family and I were footing the bills and that his mom and sister should have informed me about cancelling my order rather than impersonating me. It's about respect. I told him what they did was criminal. Now he's yelling at me for being disrespectful towards him and his family. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law sent a couple of nasty texts and he says I deserve it because I'm an a-hole. Currently, I'm refusing to back down and butting heads with the three of them. I don't know, am I really an a-hole? Update. Thanks to everyone who contributed to my first post. It meant a lot to me. After that experience with my fiancé and his family, he turned into something else and this caused a lot of strife between us. I had an epiphany. This is how my life would be, forever put in my place by all three of them. So I called off the wedding and are currently separated. I cannot be with someone whose family does not respect my choice. And although he has been calling and texting me to give him another chance, I no longer see a future with him. You're not the a-hole, OP. This incident was a blessing in disguise. I can't believe your ex-fiancé supported his mother and sister. Not only did they disrespect you by going over your head to return the dresses, but your ex-sister-in-law also impersonated you. The fact that he sees nothing wrong with his family gaslighting you into thinking what they did isn't a big deal, and essentially bullying you is a big red flag. It's great to support your family, but when you're supporting them blindly, then there's a problem. You did the best thing by calling off the marriage. A marriage with your ex would have been you up against your unreasonable mother-in-law and sister-in-law, and your husband never defending you or seeing anything wrong in their behavior. It would have been hell. I'm glad you backed out before then. Story 2. Long story short, I've been a surrogate for 3 friends and their partners, and I've started my own family along the way. Surrogacy is something I found very fulfilling. 2 of them were for same-sex couples, and the other one just for a friend who wanted to embrace parenthood on her own. In every pregnancy I've had, I've asked for just hospital visits covered and maybe some odd cravings delivered to me at 3 a.m. All my friends have gone above and beyond helping me through all my pregnancies, and I've been involved in their new lives and the children I've given birth to since day one. I will admit it's hard at times to let go of them since they have been with me for 9 months, but seeing their parents ecstatic just makes it all go away. About a month ago, I got a call from my twin sister who has been married for 10 years now. It's obvious to everyone in the family that I've apparently absorbed all the fertility out of her when we were in the womb. Me and my sister have never gotten along for some odd reason, and we barely ever talk now. We were never overly bitter at each other. We were always just interested in different things growing up. She basically goes straight to business like always and tells me that she and her husband have finally decided that I would be their surrogate. Now I'm taken aback by how straightforward this was, since I've heard nothing about this from anyone. I just tell her I can't since I've already decided I wouldn't have any more kids. And that's when the whole mess starts. She asks me if it's not some sort of business I've started to help me and my family financially. She gets upset and demands why I would rather have kids for other people and asks me if I really hate her so much. I ask why she can't just adopt or have someone else be their surrogate. And she says she and her husband have decided that having the child more biologically close to them would be best. I'm taken aback by this because I've never loved my oldest son less because he was biologically different to us. This really upsets me and I hang up. The next month would be hell from all sides. My dad calls and asks me why I would rather have other men have at me than help my own sister fulfill her dream of having a family. My mom calls me crying and demands to know why I love my friends more than my own sister. The real effing kicker is when my brother-in-law's mother calls me and basically guilt trips me by saying that their whole family has just had trouble with fertility and their only wish is to see their son be happy. Now I just feel extremely guilty and I'm questioning my own decisions despite my husband telling me if I've decided enough is enough, then no one can tell me otherwise. Am I the a-hole for having other people's kids but not helping my sister? Edit. Thank you all for the support. A lot of you have been so nice. I have decided with the help of my husband and all of you that I will donate my eggs to my sister if she would like them. It was honestly not a decision I considered before. I really would have loved to help my sister, but her unannounced and everyone just guilt-tripping me wasn't helping. She's honestly a sweet person when she wants to be, but she can be demanding at times. And I don't know if maybe there's some misunderstanding between us. I'm sure this won't somehow magically fix our strained relationship, but it's the least I could do. Not the a-hole OP. Your sister, however, is an a-hole. Your parents are a-holes, her mother-in-law is an a-hole, every other person who has gotten involved on her behalf is an a-hole. She called you up and told you that she and her husband have decided you to be their surrogate, and when you refused, she got mad at you for turning her down like you had no right to. She could have asked to discuss things with you like an adult, but she didn't. You absolutely have a right to decide when and if you will be pregnant. You do not have to be a surrogate just because you were asked and have done it before. If you're done being pregnant, you're done, and that's okay. Giving her your eggs could be a great idea. Discuss it with her and see where it goes. And if it doesn't go anywhere, leave the whole thing behind you and live your life. Now for some comments. What the actual F is this? They didn't ask you? You're not her spare effing womb. And the fact you did something wonderful for other people does not entitle your family to free use of your body. You get to decide if you have kids, and you have every right to be tired of it. You're not having babies in a box under the stairs to give out to everyone. You're not an a-hole. Your family sounds like they are being horrible. Not the a-hole. It is your body, so you get final say. So you did 3 surrogacies, not to mention the pregnancies you've had to have your own kids. Your body is probably exhausted. I wouldn't say your sister is an a-hole, but she should have discussed it if you were even willing. She did not have the right to basically demand you to be her surrogate. Your father, however, is the a-hole for that comment. That was uncalled for. I can only wish you the best, OP. Please put yourself first. Not the a-hole, not the a-hole, not the a-hole. OP, you are not required to do this for anyone. Your sister's whole approach was rude and dismissive of you. Her audacity to act and believe that because she's now ready to have a child, you will just drop everything and agree to be a surrogate is beyond ridiculous. Also, your parents enabling that and not even asking for your side before berating you is upsetting. Listen to your husband. You decided you were done and that is fine. I would also recommend taking a break from blocking any family members who are trying to pressure you into this. Story 3. My 22 female's sister, 29 female, has had a rocky relationship with her fiancé. They met in high school and have been through a few breakups. They seemed to be steady from 2015 to 2017, but took a small break in mid-2018. A while after they got back together, she announced that she was pregnant. Anyways, she gave birth, everyone was happy, etc. Fast forward to 3 days ago, my sister and her fiancé announced their engagement, but today my sister came over to talk to me. She was pretty upset and I was really concerned. It took her a while to tell me what was wrong, and basically she told me that she doesn't think her fiancé is the biological father of her baby because she had a one-night stand for like 2 or 3 days after they took the break in 2018, and her fiancé has no idea. I immediately encouraged her to just tell him because it's pretty damn messed up, but she's refusing to. She keeps saying that it's pointless and why cause issues when everything is perfectly right now. So I told her that if she doesn't tell her fiancé the truth, I will. I cannot stand liars and that is one big lie. I think it's super unfair to her fiancé. My sister called me a troublemaker and is refusing to answer my texts and calls. I have no idea what to do. Am I the a-hole? Now for some comments. They were on a break, so the one-night stands aren't the problem. The fiancé may or may not be the biological father. Taking a test is much better. If he gets to know this later, it's going to severely affect him and the relationship and the child. I think you are not the a-hole. He needs to know this now. Relationships made on the foundation of lies don't last long. Not the a-hole. Tell her fiancé she obviously has no intention of doing so, but he has the right to know before he enters into a life contract with her. Your sister is afraid of the outcome, rightly so, as she likely thinks he may not want to marry her after he finds out. And that is exactly why he should know. Successful marriages built on lies do not exist. She is doomed to fail in her marriage if she enters into it under false pretenses. Their only chance for a happy future is to address this now before they get married. Everyone sucks here. Your sister sucks for not dealing with this the right way from the jump. She should have tested paternity immediately. You suck for not being a better support system for your sister. You should discuss with her at minimum why determining paternity is important and what her options were. Immediately going to tell him or I will is not useful or practical. They are living together and raising a child together. She has practical logistical concerns she needs to handle. Doesn't make her suck less, but it doesn't mean that a simplistic approach is actually appropriate here. Just as she owes her fiancé honesty, she also owes her child safety and secure and stable housing. Unless your suggestion was to tell your fiancé and then come stay with me for free at my house large enough for both of you while we sort this out, then you're not really helping.